Okay.
How many years, bud?
7, like us.
Come on, too. Yeah. Yeah. Like once you get to 10, man, you just hit cruise control. You know what I mean? Stop playing.
10.
Yeah, it take 10 years to even get in the rhythm, man.
Can we hit cruise control now?
You say what now?
Let's hit it now. We ain't gotta wait till 10.
We can hit it, but you know what I mean? It's a couple stop signs. I ain't seen you. A couple little, you know what I mean, detours like that one up the road. You just be driving. You take this route every day. One day you heading down the road. You're like, yo, I can't get through here anymore. You gotta call an audible at the line of scrimmage.
You gonna hit that at 10?
Nah, man, at 10 we good, man.
Nah, who told you that?
The Most High.
Don't lie. You got to be like the Ricans.
It was the high
Do you know
most.
he told me the Lord skipped him to 3rd grade, so he missed kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd? He told me that tonight with a straight face. I was like, man, shut up.
The Ricans will say something to you. You have to be like, for real? You be like, yo, you playing? You know what I mean?
At first, because I was like, no, you didn't. He was like, yes, I did. And I said, you was that smart. He said, no, honey, the Lord skipped me because I had things to do. I'm all like, what?
All right, pause. For y'all have fun, I'm going to have my Kendall husband, full-grown husband moment. Does my wife not look good tonight? What baby? What pregnancy? What baby bump? She came out tonight. I said, you remind me of a girl I met about 7 years ago. Straight up.
I got a ways to go, but I'm going to get there, honey.
Man, let's get there together.
Let's do it.
Please, let's get there together.
Let's do it.
I
mean, we didn't have a babysitter tonight, so Keziah is to the left.
She's
to the
right
left
here
of us, and I feel like
yeah, man, she does this thing at nighttime, so y'all might just see her.
She's so happy in the mornings. I told Kendall this morning, I was like, she's teaching me how to rise and be like, her smile be like, girl, if you don't give God all the glory, she just smile all morning long, but at night.
Give God the glory and give me that milk.
Look at it, check it out.
In that order. Hey, cutie.
So we might not be rocking next Tuesday because we believe in marriage and we support marriage. And our brother will be married for 7 years next Tuesday to my sister Lisa. So we're going to, you know what I mean? So what y'all going to do?
Something.
Nice.
What?
You ain't got it put together yet?
Come on, sis. We live. What's going on here?
I forgot. I know Lisa be the text you be like, oh, you ain't got nothing together?
Go put in the comments and put him on blast.
Sorry, I know you got this.
You got time, though. A week is enough
my
time.
sleeve now. My sleeve and jiggling.
And it's COVID. You can't even, like,
I know. It's
every time we get ready to do
right.
something, I'm like, babe, you want to go? And she be like, what about COVID? And I be like, yeah, you're right. It's changed the dynamic of dating.
It's weird out here in these streets, which is why we came up with the title, Learning How to Dance in the Rain. Because it's a storm out right now. Like, everything that's going on, it's real stormy out. And if you let it, I used to tell Ken, like, when it rained, I used to hate when it would rain. It just would kill my whole entire mood. I'd be like, man, I don't feel like going nowhere. I don't feel like doing nothing. It just would kill me. And now, what I say?
You love a good rain.
I love a good rainy day.
Boom. Let's throw a metaphor in there. You hated the rain. We used to always go to the islands. I'm watching her. Ain't gonna be long. We used to always go to the islands. My wife's an island girl. She likes the islands. And I was like, let me take you to the mountains. So we went up to this resort up in Asheville, and, mountainous, beautiful ride coming through the hills and the mountains. And it rained like the first 2 days. And she was like, my whole perspective of the rain has changed.
Yeah.
But the irony and the beautiful metaphor in it is that we had to change our level of view. You know what I mean? We had to go up to be able to look at something that we looked at from a low place. Once we got up to the mountain, something that was unattractive and undesirable in a low place or a low-minded place, when we elevated up, that same thing now had a different perspective.
Yeah, it did.
And that's kind of the angle we coming from tonight about changing the view of a lot of things that we cannot change, such as rain, but we can change the way that we perceive it.
Which is why you got to have a little bit of the sun. You got to have a little bit of the islands. If you can go right now, you got to have a little bit of the mountains. Like, I would never go to the mountains, but now I do both because they both bring something to the table. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. Darius, would you like to?
First giving honor to God.
Hey, did you see my post on what I said about you today?
Oh my God,
Did you see it?
Well, actually, I did.
Mr.
And I was going to act like I didn't see it.
Mm.
Because you have to learn how that the devil's busy, and you got to learn how to bypass the devil.
Honey, I ain't nothing about me. I done told you.
Because the devil hobos. He doesn't have legs. He doesn't have arms. I come to give the people a word on tonight. Be careful. Because if the devil is there, somebody brought him in.
I knew you were heavy. I knew you were heavy tonight.
Rodriguez drops his own bombs.
I
ain't
knew he
mad
was
at
heavy tonight. Something going on with it because he kept playing Mahalia Jackson upstairs, and I was like, really? I love Mahalia, but he was
First of all, she got kind of irritated with me because I skipped to the 3rd grade. I mean, she got so like, ha ha ha, laughing. I'm like, what's the joke? She asked me, did I go to pre-K? And I'm like, no, I didn't go to pre-K. I was skipped to 3rd grade. And she said, well, how did you get skipped to 3rd grade? Because God spoke and he made a way. And she said, well, why would he do that? Because he needed to use me. So he was progressing me forward. Because I had a work to do.
That's why you playing Mahalia right now.
Yeah, because I felt something getting a little busy.
Because Zaya doesn't believe it. What's wrong, Mama?
She's so pretty.
Okay.
But my question was one of my questions was that do you feel like in order for people feel like in order for people to take your situation serious, there's a certain tone, there's a certain vibe that you have to give. Like I can't prime example, like I can't if I call John and be like, hey y'all, my mom got cancer, versus hey y'all, my mom got cancer. So we kind of taught a behavior, a way that we have to kind of,
Look at that. What's up, Schnookle? Okay.
Oh yeah, get the baby. Can you woo?
We've been going from this milk to this milk to this formula to this formula, trying to find that right batch for you, little girl. She got a little more in there too. Yeah. You weren't supposed to be on camera tonight, but I guess you had your own plans.
The milk ain't been acting right, but we sure can say thank God for the cutest diapers. 'Cause we ain't had no rash. Oh, thank God for
Why
the cutest diapers.
Why we here? Like we going into month 4, not
back,
a
everybody.
single rash. Like it's unbelievable. Not a single rash. Not a single breakout. As a dad, I'm good because I half don't want to be down there anyway. So I'm not trying to be down there doing extras. Yeah, but I get nervous every time. You can, but yeah. So y'all see it's real out here, like real parents, real stuff. Well, the thing about it is, had a babysitter great come over today, but this COVID thing is funny. So if you get the coughing, sneezing, on the phone, we'll be like, you know what, we'll do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're good. We'll suffer through it. But back to your point, bro, like, and I
you feel like
get
it's
my
a
queen's
certain
perspective.
tone that you have to give. Like I remember y'all had the conversation about was it fake friends or fake something. Happy fake face. So it's like we're forced to have to set a tone so that people can take our situation serious.
Or is it that people, is it that you want people to take your situation serious, or is it that we're living in a generation where people want to take other people's situations that they're going through and make it their pain to get attention, to gain, you get what I'm saying? Like, have you ever met somebody who, if somebody passed away, they call you every time and you be like, oh man, I'm sorry to hear about that. Who was that to you? They be like, well, I didn't know them, but they was mine. It's like, well, what? I mean, you know what I mean? Why are you so sad? Why are you so down? I'm saying we should be sad when things happen to people, but sometimes.
The reason why I said that, because when I heard Dancing in the Rain,
Yeah.
what I envisioned was praising while you're still going through.
Pretty much.
And so sometimes I feel like we forget that, because while we're in a situation, we almost feel like culturally we feel like we have to be a certain tone, a certain kind of way. Like you can't just be like, hey y'all, my mom got cancer, you have to set it up, you have to be down, or you have to go to work sad, you have to go quiet. Like this is a kind of thing that community-wise that we have to do. It's a certain kind of way that you feel like you have to be, when trouble
That falls
comes.
back to, it's not that we have to be that way. It's just that, okay, certain things on television ain't gonna go number one unless it's what? Drama, right? So drama brings people what? Attention, likes, you know what I mean, more comments on the thing. So most of the time people are not going to post the positive because they know, that's just like, for example, if I got up and I posted a picture of me losing my weight and I got on a sweatsuit, ain't nobody going to pay attention to it until I put on a bathing suit. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like people use that, people are not learning how to dance in the rain and saying, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell nobody but my closest prayer warriors who I know can get a prayer through. And other than that, I'm going to keep on moving and I'm going to learn how to dance in the rain. I'm not even going to give cancer no attention. I'm not even going to give just anything that people go through. I'm not even going to give it no attention because I'm going to learn how to dance in the rain. It's a storm going on right now in my house. But I'm going to learn how to get out there, put my rain boots on and dance. You get what I'm saying?
Let me take her.
Oh, you don't think I can do it?
No, I'm not saying you
So
can't do
Kendall
it.
has this thing. If he puts her, you stand up, and you come and get her, and he gonna put her on the shoulder and watch what she do. Come here. It's so, to me, it's so dirty. I'm like, girl, I went through a lot with you for 9 months. Watch this. Boom.
So
Okay.
it's my Gucci bag.
So, but do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but even before social media,
Okay.
do you not feel that this is a learned behavior that we have to act or portray a certain type of energy for people to take our situation serious? Like if you didn't have your bill money, or you about to lose your house, I think there's a learned behavior that we can't be joyful, even though we speak these things in church, though. I think that there's a certain kind of energy that we feel like I have to go in here and be heavy. I have to go in here and be a certain kind of way, because if not, my situation is not going to be
So
taken
you saying
serious.
if I go in and tell somebody, look, I need $500 for my rent, or they gonna put me out, but God is so good, can you help me? They're not gonna get no help if they say, oh my God.
Yes, you
You won't believe what so you
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
they're okay.
yeah.
Being an avid scripture reader, it goes against everything that we're being taught. So when you think of worship, when you think of church, when you think of the kingdom, because I heard certain key words, I heard community and culture. Our community and culture should reflect the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're choosing to be opposed to that which we proclaim to be. So that right there is a dichotomy of insanity within itself. But at the end of the day, there's a lack of faith. We read the scriptures and we read about our heroes and our ancestors and how they went through certain things in their testimonies. But when something comes knock on our door, the first thing we do is we grab hold of self, fear, anxiety, and that's what gets projected. So, yeah, to your point, that is true to a certain extent. But I also feel like we should be walking in a place, you ain't going to do that tonight, little girl. You don't want your mom to be on camera with me. What's really good? She looked too good tonight to be that distant. But I also feel like we're doing the kingdom a disservice because we look just like the world. We look just like the world. So what is supposed to entice or encourage people in the world to want to be attracted to the kingdom when you scared like you scared, you fearful like you fearful, you talking out of fear like you talking out of fear? What's supposed to happen is it doesn't change the fact that we're going through tumultuous times and there's a shaking and tribulation. But where's our faith that it's going to work together for our good? Where's our faith that all things are in his hand? Where is that at? And so to me, I feel like it's, and I'm not speaking arrogantly, we go through so many things, and my wife may even say, like, why are you so calm? Why are you so chill? That's when it's time to say, I know the God that I serve. I know it's outside of my means, outside of my jurisdiction, outside of my pay grade, but I know the Father that I serve. So we shouldn't have to project all of those all of that animation and all of those antics and all of those theatrics to be able to convey something of sincerity. It's unnecessary. But yes, it's become culture.
Well, let me say this. So let's go a little deeper. Do you feel, I want to question faith. Do you feel that faith, hear me when I say this, do you feel like the way we see faith and the way we practice faith is a learned behavior? Meaning that two people that come from different backgrounds will practice faith different based upon how they saw faith, practice in their household, what they were taught, how they seen faith work with their parents, before, because I honestly feel we learned faith before we actually experienced it. Yes. And so, because the reason why I say that is like my brother, I moved, at some point I moved in with my grandma and I saw her practice faith. My brother and my sister, they're different because they stayed in my mother's household, which my mother really wasn't practicing faith through the church. I want to say this stuff right, but because I saw my grandma actually practicing faith and I seen the stuff that she was doing and it was actually working, it made me kind of step into that. Do you believe that what we saw as a child and how we saw our parents practice faith has a lot to do with our road to where we have kind of gotten to now in practicing
Yes
faith?
and no. Absolutely yes and absolutely no. I believe it does as far as shaping your perspective, because your perspective is your reality. The way that you view something is what is true to you. The way you see something is your reality. I don't want to get too long-winded. But at the end of the day, it comes a point in time when you reach a mature stage of seeking after the Father, praying, fasting within your own ability to do so, studying the Word, seeking God for yourself to where you enter into a personal experience. And I believe that's why Christ came and said, I come to turn father against son, mother against daughter, house against house, because when you have a personal experience, it may go against what your father taught you and what he stands for. When you have a personal experience and you begin to know God for yourself, it may make you question, not necessarily lose respect, but you may question what you were taught. You may say, hey, I'm interpreting that scripture different than the way you've always said it to me. I'm seeing worship and praise different than the way you've always said it to me. So I think that, yes, when you're coming up, you only know the faith that you were taught. If my mother would have been a Muslim, I would have came up a Muslim until I got of age and was able to do my own due diligence and study to show thyself approved and be able to find out for myself and have a personal experience.
And the reason why I asked that, because for a long time, I responded to things in a
Yeah, I'm not as pretty as you. I think they want to see you.
Oh, she fell asleep too.
Yeah, we're going to make sure of it, though. Okay.
For a long time, one of my behaviors was going silent and shutting down. And that was kind of what I saw my mom do. Like, my mom was a shut down person. She would shut down, be by herself. That's became my best thing that I do now. Yeah. So learned behavior, from my mom is shutting down, being by myself. So it come easy for me. Like, I could just walk away, And so that's why I was asking about the learned behavior, because I think then it makes it hard it's a longer road to get to dancing in the rain.
Well, see, you got to think about it like this. When we were young, we didn't have to go through anything, so we didn't have to have faith. We didn't pay no bills. you see what I'm saying? We just loved God. You know what I mean? We went to church every day. My baby slobber all on me. We just went to church every day. And what happened was we began to love God, and we knew that there was a higher power. We knew that there was, but we have faith. What kind of faith? We didn't go through nothing. So we could dance in the rain. Because as kids, what is the first thing a kid do when they see a puddle? What's the first thing a kid do?
Jump in it.
Jump in it. You have to say, I wish you would get your shoes dirty. I just bought them shoes. They be red. It's like they run to it. But as we get older and we start to really go through some real life situations, that's when we start being like, okay, so what's that faith thing again? Well, because we don't know. So as we get older, we start to turn away and run away from the rain. We run away from the puddles. While kids, meanwhile, are dancing in the rain and enjoying themselves. Go ahead.
So like how we broke the joint up earlier today when we was talking about me and you taking that trip up to the mountains, right? Yes, girl, fix it. I'll wait. That's me right there, boy. You ever look at your wife nice and be like, you know what, I make some good decisions in life, boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Kim.
Hallelujah. Okay. but I think that the fruit of this topic, for us putting it out there, is taking that same concept of moving into a higher plane, a higher level. We have to mature as a people. We have to mature as believers. Yes, we don't like the rain when we keep staying in a valley mindset. You could be in the valley, you could be in the valley and not have a valley mindset. No different than you can be in the hood and still have a billionaire mindset. The Most High is looking, what do you say, the Spirit goes to and fro, looking for those who will worship him in spirit and in truth, looking for those men who will come off that milk, get off of this Keziah level and get to a point to where we don't have to be spoon-fed. We don't have to go through things through repetition. We don't have to keep circling the same mistakes all the time, so that we can get up to a level to where we can see the atmosphere and survey the land from a more mature perspective. Now, when certain things hit, you can look at them and say, okay, I see it for what it is. It's not a personal attack. It's not a dig at my character. Maybe my perspectives are not correct. Maybe my expectations are unrealistic. You can start to question yourself. But we have to get to a point where we can get up and change our view of the landscape so that we can see life, ourselves, and especially God in the manner that he should be, so that we can welcome them storms when they come. What I don't want to say the person's name, but the other day me and you were talking. And we were talking about a very powerful, influential person in the kingdom. And you was like, man, I hate to see them go through this. And what did I say? I said, but you know what? I see a promotion coming from him. I see him being stretched because there's another elevation that God's trying to take him to. You can't get there if you got a valley mindset, because you're not like, dang, why that's happening to him? Oh, he must have done something. He probably done sin. But when you get to a higher plane of view, you can start to say, nah, I have learned from my experiences. I have read the word, and I can see, nah, I guarantee your elevation is coming if he can just make it through this shaking. Yeah. We got to get to that point as a people. Then we can lift each other up instead of being so quick to tear each other down like what we're seeing on social media and all of this nonsense. It's because we got a lot of valley people trying to rock the crowns of kings and queens.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You know, I think for me now, I can only speak for myself after going through so many storms. I've learned how to dance in the rain. You understand? So when I talk to other people, to most people who are going through storms, I'm on the other side looking like, oh, you're going to be straight. You're going to be straight. I promise you, if you just learn how to dance in it. And people are looking at me like I'm stupid, like, dance in it? Like, what are you talking about? But then if you really think about talking to me and think about my past and half of the things that I went through, then you should say, you know what, she must have danced through something, because I went through a lot. You understand what I'm saying? So Kim was working on something the other day. Well, he been working on it for a minute now. It's gonna be really, really nice. And you said to me, like, man, it just why they have to be like, I feel this, I feel that, boom, 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 boom. And I said to you, I said, Ken, if it didn't happen that way, then it is not meant to be. Like, there ain't no purpose in it. It's happening like this, and you're going through certain storms, and you can't sleep. You having sleepless nights. You twitching. You can't go to the gym. God is pulling you in certain directions because there's purpose in it. So anytime you have purpose, and anytime God is about to open the door, there's going to be a storm. Anytime your marriage has purpose, there are going to be storms. Your business has purpose, there are going to be storms. I don't know if you feel like sharing it, but I just want you to share like your transition from one spot to the other and how that felt, and you had to trust God, right?
Yeah. I think that long story short, during COVID, was a time where I really got scared. I didn't know what I was going to do in the beginning because I didn't have money come in. And not only was I just in this for me, but I had a team of people that was riding with me. So I wasn't just concerned about me, I was concerned about them. And I started praying like, God, like, what's going on? But then I started seeking God like deeper. You know how like sometimes trials and tribulations would drive you deeper? Like being scared would drive you deeper. Like, I mean, I was like praying like, God, like this is getting scary. 2 weeks don't turn into a month. Like, what are we going to do? And so like I really got to a point where I was really, really, really praying, fasting, and then I heard God say, move. The funny thing about it is because I heard God say move before, but I didn't listen the first time. And I got addicted to saying that I've been at the last place for 15 years and 10 years. I got addicted to that because I wanted to prove God through years. And God had been moved, and I was still stuck where I was because my ego was in the way of being able to prove that I can survive in a place that people left me. And so now my back is up against the wall. And even during COVID, the funny thing, even though I wasn't working, I found a different kind of peace. And I started not even wanting to go back there anymore. And I heard God. And the funny thing is because T.D. Jakes talked about how the Wright brothers came up with the plane idea in Chicago, but they couldn't get on the fly. I was coming up with a lot of ideas at the old salon that couldn't manifest. It's the right idea in the wrong place. And so then I'm praying to God and asking God what I supposed to do. And when God said move, I was like, well, God, move. This is we're in the middle of a pandemic, and this ain't the right time to be using money. And then I started kind of reaching out to people that I normally reach out to about making changes. And a lot of people felt like I shouldn't have done it. And then, I had a few people that believed that, do it. Whatever God is saying, do. You was one of them. And so I stepped out on faith, and I started looking and looking and looking and looking. I looked for about 3 weeks, like looking and looking and looking and looking. Couldn't find anything. And I remember coming in the house crying because I was so exhausted. And I was like, God, I know I heard a move, and I know this wasn't going to come overnight, but where is it? Where is it? I even went and prayed on it. This is a very important part. I remember there was this one place that I was about to settle for. One night I got up at 12 o'clock at night, and I went and poured oil on the grounds and started praying for it. Like, oh, God, I know you can do this. This is for me. This is for me. This is for me. And sometimes you could be praying over a place that don't belong to you. You can be pleading a case that is not yours. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how much oil you pour. It doesn't matter how much you fast and pray. God was saying, this ain't it. I was trying to take it over. And so, long story short, I found the place. And I remember when I found that place, it was the perfect place. And but at some point in it, I started praising God like every day, because God was only giving me instructions day by day by day by day. And I remember this made me think about dancing in the rain. This lady hit me up. Her name is Stephanie. I met her on the road. We became friends from me traveling with you. She does hair. Stephanie hit me up one night, and I was laying in the bed, and I remember I had ran out of money, and I was just laying in the bed looking at the ceiling like, God, where are you? Like, my back is up against the wall. Stephanie hit me up, and she said, God told me to bless you. And so she said, what's your Cash App? I sent her my Cash App. She sent me $300. So I jumped up out of the bed, and I started shouting to the point where I started crying. While I was shouting and crying, she kept sending me money. She said, God said, keep sending it until I tell you to stop. When you praise God, when you're going through, God will move. God is a move. Yeah. He is a move. He's not, I know sometimes we sit there, but God is a move. He honors our move, even when we don't know what we're doing, how we're going to do it. Yeah. Like, even as I tell y'all this, sometimes I be thinking like, oh my God, this was like, it blows my mind how it all happened and how it's been a year that I've moved, and I'm doing better than I was, so much better than I was. But I learned how to dance in the rain, because God, the children of Israel, God gave it to them every day. Like some things are just not going to come until you day by day by
Ken
day
gonna
by
say
day.
something, but I want to say this. Don't you ever lay in your bed talking about you ain't got no money, you ain't call me as a friend. I'll bust you in your head.
But listen, you said it yourself.
It had to go this way,
I
though.
understand,
Like,
but I'm still.
we always talk about getting in trouble trying to be God in people's lives, but at the same time, it was a greater exercise of faith. He know he could hit fam up, same way we know we can hit bruh up. But what I love most about the story, man, is that it's being shared right now. I say that because a lot of people don't know how to dance in the rain, because everybody reaches places of success and they never let you know that they've experienced rain. See, we live in a society now where everything is about, like, I woke up like this, I got it out the mud, but we never see you with any dirt up under your fingernails. Nobody want to talk about the pain, the losses, the suffering, the feuds with the family, the heartache, the physical stress, the anxiety. Everybody wants to make it seem like you woke up, had an idea, and you automatically got to profits. it's important for people to be able to see. So now when they see your shop, now when they see you doing seminars, they can say, yo, this man had no money. Somebody had to bless him with $300, and $300 made him shout. Because if you walk in your shop, the way it looks now, nobody in their right mind would think that $300 would even move a thought in your imagination. So it's important that we don't withhold our testimonies, because a lot of people don't know how to dance in the rain. Because who do you see dancing in the rain? You don't see anybody to learn from. You don't have the elders like you used to have who would let you know how to get through hard times. You don't have successful people who are not also willing to share how I became successful. But let me let you know when I was at my lowest place, when I was in my most broken place. And I know that's one of the things they love about you, because you were forced to have to allow the world into the confines of your secret place of brokenness, but it has inspired millions of people across the world, but not enough people do that voluntarily. So salute.
Yeah. I want to talk to Sean for a minute, because Sean, you make your living by DJing. And when COVID hit, all the spots that you would normally go to, they closed down. I just want to ask you something. My question for you is, while you were in that house, did you ever stop getting on your board, playing music?
No. Well, for a while I did.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. About at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
I was just, that 2 weeks I was just thinking.
Okay.
Like trying to figure it out. Like, am I gonna, bless you, Nisi, I see you. Just trying to think like, what direction I was about to go in, because like Dorica said, that when the pandemic hit, it's like everything came to us like a hard stop. Like it wasn't, hey, this was what's going on, next week or 2 weeks from now, like you can kind of plan. Wasn't that. It's just a hard stop. So, and that's all I depend on. Yeah. So it was like,
But what made you get back on your board?
Just because this is my love right here. Like this is my comfort. So when I'm playing or I put my earphones on, like I'm just.
But do you understand that you were dancing in the rain?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm.
I totally.
Yeah,
get
that's
You
dope.
went for 2 weeks and you thought, you got in your head and you like, okay, hold up. Now, there was a faith, there was a seed there, Sean, because that's how you take care of your family. So everything is shut down. Most people wouldn't have went back to the board. Most people would have got angry with the board.
But see, I was there, and the anger, I guess, that you speak of was me telling Lisa, like, I think I'm going to have to get a job. And it's like, I know people was like, well, I'm going to take this unemployment. So, businesses wasn't, like, employees wasn't coming to work. So they needed people to come. And I'm like,
but God
this
kept
was it. But it's like, no. And I'm telling myself that this was what I'm going to do, but nothing never led me in that direction. There was always, hey, man, play some music today. You know what I'm saying? And then even still, people like, will say, oh, post your Cash App. And for me, it was never, I'm not getting on here for y'all to send me anything. Like, this is me being me. Like, I'm trying to help other people, like, be in good spirits, pretty much. Like, that was my whole intention.
Dancing in the rain, providing music for the soul. Music is a healer. So the 2 weeks you took, and then you said, you know what, man, I'm going to play some music because this is what makes me feel good. It was a thing that I believe, because we don't know what God thinks. We don't know what God says. We will never really know. But I believe it was like, okay, he passed the test. He learned how to dance in the rain. Now I can open this door. Now I can open that door. You get what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because, like, we, like you said, we all grew up in church, and, like, we know the ins and outs pretty much. And when it comes to me, like, playing music, like, I never really had a bunch of Sundays to do a lot of anything. If we did have some of my Sunday, we would go to church or something, or, whatever. But over the pandemic, it was like, what is my gift? Like, my gift pretty much is music, like playing music for people. Like, that's what I feel like, You know, even when I was a drummer, like, I'm playing music for people. So I would get up on Sundays and just play music, have praise and worship. Like, I would log on. I would tell people I'm logging on and such, like just praise and worship, because I don't feel like not only I needed that, but it was a million people more that needed it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's a song I'm making. Just if I push this play button, this song was for 1,000 people just now. You know,
learning how
Yeah.
to dance in the rain.
I want to say this too, because my clients are on here like, don't you ever lay there without no money? Don't you ever lay? Listen. I need y'all to understand that during this time was a sacred place with me and God. Like, I really got by myself with God, and it wasn't even a thing of being prideful. Like, God had already started moving in my life, that I started. What was it? Blind Bartimaeus. Like, I got to the point where I was calling God till He had to respond. You know, I'm just like, God, I know. I was literally laying in the bed saying, God, I know you didn't bring me this far to leave me. Like, I know it's coming from somewhere. I just don't know where. Like, show me. Like, God, I know you are with me. Like, just like, I was just really like, God, I know you are with me. And when Stephanie hit me up. Me and Stephanie had
You felt that it was something. See, when she hit you, you felt that it was a God thing, because you ain't talked to Stephanie about any of this
that's
stuff.
What I was going to say. We hadn't even talked in a little minute.
So boom, let's go there right quick. Sometimes the people around us who know what we're going through want to help, and we don't. We like, no, it's a God thing. When somebody calls you that doesn't even know about what's going on,
lives all the
you
way in
get
Alabama.
excited because you like, okay, God, I see you.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
That's
It's almost like the story that I always tell when we were on the road for a very, very long time. We were partying. I ain't gonna lie, I had just won. We were from tour to tour, and we were wilding out. And I woke up, and one of my sisters was like, you know, yo, we just looked at each other and was like, yo, have you noticed we ain't prayed, we ain't paid no tithes, we ain't sent it back to, you know, our mothers and our grandmothers. We just been out here wilding out. And I went through a little scary season. I'm like, yo, God, are you upset with me? Have you closed your ears to me? Anyway, long story short, I used to go to this one nail shop. You can believe me, you don't have to believe me. I don't care. I think y'all know I don't tell no lies. I ain't got time for telling no tales. I go into the nail shop that I always go into. And, you know, ladies, when you go to a nail shop that you're familiar with, you about know everybody to come in and get their nails done, right? I have been going here for so long. And so I was sitting in the chair, letting my feet soak, waiting on the lady to come and do me. And I'm saying to myself in my head, like, God, please tell me you haven't closed your ears to me. Please tell me you're not upset with me. Please. I'm just praying now. I'm sitting and I'm like, oh, my God. So this old lady walks in with long white hair, and she had on the gold jewelry that was just beautiful on every finger, long nails, real, everything real. And I ain't never seen her before. She went the whole time when they put us up under the dryer to dry her nails. She sat beside me and she looked at me and was like, can I speak a word into your life now? Let me just be honest. Everybody wants to speak a word into my life because they know I'm a church person. And some stuff that they speak in my life don't be from God. It just be stuff that they heard in the press. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, God, here we go again. And I did at that time. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, first of all, she was an older white lady. So I'm like, clearly she doesn't know who I, you know. What does she got to say? And she started telling me everything that I went through. She told me that my ending would be better than my beginning. And then she looked at me and said, oh, and by the way, he told me to tell you, he still hears your prayers. I flipped. It's not that a pastor told me it was a God. It's not that I know that there's a God because of stuff that I went through, and he came to me in ways that I'd be like, yo, right? So when Stephanie hit you up and she knew nothing about it, you knew, okay.
I jumped up out of bed and started
I know. I know some people might be out here like, oh, that's hocus pocus, whatever you want to believe, whatever. I don't got to tell you no lies. But he showed up for me in ways, and so that was something that you had to see because you had been praying and waiting to hear from him. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was, you know, I it's one thing when you see. It's funny how like sometimes, Jake said that God is not that great with details.
No, not at all.
God is not that great with details, and I'm in the middle of a project, and I run out of money, you know, and I'm like, God, I know you told me to do this. Like, I literally, and you know, I haven't even posted this yet, but I literally was doing this just the way I see it. I wasn't, if it came to my mind, I was buying it. I was getting it. I was ordering it. Sometimes I even thought I was crazy. Like, I'm taking my last and just doing it. But when I tell you, it just kept replenishing. It kept replenishing. It kept replenishing. You know, it just kept happening. I wouldn't even, and you a part of this, you know, you and Kendall are part of this testimony, and y'all didn't know it, but it was time, even like when it came down to like my sign on my building, I was just like, I made up in my mind that I was not going to, I want everything I wanted. God said, whatever you want, just do it. Just dream it. Screenshot it. And that's what I was doing like a kid. And I hadn't done this since I was a kid, screenshot and stuff. I was like, I want this sign, you know, this sign, big money, thousands of dollars. I'm like, I don't care. This is what I want. I will sacrifice. Like, this is, and even when you came and you was asking me what you know, where was I at with my project, and when I mentioned the sign, and you was like, I'm gonna take care of the sign. Mm-hmm. And you know, in my mind, I'm thinking like, you know, I know. You know,
yeah,
like,
we know.
Because even when she was like, I was like, no.
And I was like, no. And because I want to dance in the rain with you, because I know what happens, honey, after the storm is over. Honey, when the sun comes out, I was like, oh, let me get in on this blessing. I ain't stupid. I done been here before. Let me get in on this blessing. I know that you've been called. God, I'm going to trust with him, and me and Ken went in together because we know what's good. We all learned how to dance in the rain.
And y'all was believing, to the point where y'all wasn't even like, let us see it, give me a receipt. It was just like how much it costs, send it over. And I'm just like, this was like working like, you know, Jake said that God will always pay for what he orders. God will pay for what he orders. You
know, this topic was very deep too, very needed, because with everything that's going on. So, you know, New Orleans just got hit again with Ida. Okay, then New York was flooded. Okay, then New Jersey had a tornado. Not too long ago, Dallas had a snowstorm. Okay, so, and then COVID. So, it ain't, you know, I just want people who are watching, if you're from any of those areas, if you have family from any of those areas, I want you to get off this thing tonight and call them and say, yo, learn how to dance in the rain. And it's a song that I want you to play for me. It's by KJ, and it's called Learning How to Dance in the Rain. KJ, how you say his last name? Servin. He gonna kill me. KJ Servin. Oh, he gonna kill me. Sorry, bro. I'm tearing your last name up. But I want you to call your loved ones and your friends and your family members and be like, yo, learn how to dance in the rain. I know that sounds silly. I know that sounds crazy. The other day on the news, somebody from New Orleans was so upset that they came all the way to North Carolina and just was killing women. Upset, angry, heavy, not knowing what to do with the frustration. We got to learn how to dance in the rain. We got to learn how to worship and pray our way through. For some people, I don't know if you're this type of person, because I am. If you watch the news and you literally get depressed and heavy, it's because you are a true intercessor. It means you need to get on your knees and pray for others. Oh, she having a hard time tonight, ain't she?
I would just about, it's funny you just said that about praying for others, because sometimes it's important too that, you know, a roll call when you're going through, who's around you, because you got people that's around you that's just, you know, talk on the phone, but then you got shakers and movers too. Yeah. You know, like my client Vita, she's on here. She hit me up like, now you know I would, and I know Vita would have pulled out her checkbook and did anything for me. But it was a roll call to see, you know, when you going through, are people watching you? I think the lame man, would they put him up in the thing and lowered him down? Like, you had to have people around you that actually believe in, you know, what you're doing. Not people that just good to talk to, but people that believe in you and willing to get out there and, you know, dance with you, fight with you.
I want to say this to all your clients, because you got some dope, loyal, faithful clients. And I met a lot of them. Don't get mad at them. I just almost got mad at them too, you know. But you are a blessing to him every day, from staying loyal, coming back, getting your hair done, waiting, don't care how long. Because Sean's wife called me the other day and was like, I want to get my hair done by Derikas, but he's booked up. I said, oh, just put your name on it. She's like, I think he's booked up for about 2-3 months. And I called Derikas and I was like, hey, I just want to say to God be the glory for the things that he has done. So all of that plays a part into it. And you guys are a blessing to him. He loves his clients. Like, he loves all of us. So we ain't going to beat him up this time. If you do it again.
And I want to say this, don't be scared to use what you got. There's a lot of people that's waiting on something to happen. You have what you need already. It's kind of because when you saving up what you have, that is like the children of Israel that started storing up.
The other day I was led to lay hands on my own baby, 20-year-old, and I was scared to do it. Wasn't I, Ken? I was like, I don't know. But we went together and her and I just sat on the floor and we just prayed. Not no scary, deep, crazy, just talk to God. And I posted the other day how the prayers, and Ken dreamed something about her long ago, and it's starting to come to pass. But it was like that last little piece that I had to do and be obedient. So when we got through praying, my baby girl, some doors and some things that I've been asking God for in my long time has been happening. And so I just want to keep stressing the fact that we have to learn how we have to go back to being kids again. Pastor Duran over at Transformation Church has spoke about this one time a while ago, and then KJ came back with this record that I want you guys to please go and download, because on your heavy days, on your days when you don't feel like getting out of the bed, on your days when you don't even feel like taking care of your children, on the days when you want to walk away from your whole entire family, including your husband, on the days when you want to smack your boss and everybody that work with you, you don't want to work there no more, but you know you got to go in so that you can keep a roof over your head. I mean, I can keep going. These are the times when you put on a song like this and you remind yourself that I got to go back into a kid form like how we used to be. And we used to dance through things because at the time we didn't know nothing about none of this stuff. We got to get back to that place where our faith is like a kid again. You understand? Yeah. I
would just close like this. Now's not a good time to play with your relationship with the Father. Now's not the time to lean on your mother and father's demonstration of their relationship to the Most High. It is crucial that we discern the times and look at all of the violence, the viruses. The earth is shaking from hailstorms to earthquakes to hurricanes, and it's very important to establish a intimate and personalized relationship with God for yourself. Because without that relationship, people, you can't manufacture faith. You can't go cook it like some quick grits or throw it in the microwave and think you're going to get the outcome that can only be rewarded to those who go through the crucible of fire and testing that comes to all of those who believe in him. But it's worth it. It's worth being able to stand on that rock. That parable, and I believe it's in Matthew, talks about building your house on the rock and not on sand. So when the rain comes and when the storm comes and when the wind beats up against the house, your foundation, your family, your health, your finances will not get driven away. Don't build your house on the sand of this world, of this nonsense, of these lies, these false prophecies, this social media nonsense, this propaganda, these illusions. Build it on something that you can trust, so that you can experience the love and the comfort and the guidance and the provision that he has promised to all those who believe and trust in him. And to love God, if we say we love God, to love God, first and foremost, is to fear him. And it's not that type of fear. Like it's like the fear of a true father. Like, if you ever grew up around your father, which I didn't, but I've heard stories, it was a loving fear. It was like, yo, don't play with him, but also don't play with me because I'm his. That type of fear. And that's what we want to have come forth. Because that's God's will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is not the time to give up. Don't throw in the towel. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. Don't be shaken. Don't be moved. Like, this is like, keep going. Trust me, keep going. I know it gets weary. I know it gets dark. I know it gets lonely. Don't give up. I think the thing that separate people is who keep going and who give up.
You trying to find that song. KJ just sent it to me, but I will have to go out of the it's on the phone. But and I know
And just so
we're about
y'all
to
know,
wrap it
because I
up.
know y'all don't get to read the comments, but like everybody on here is like, this is blessing them. This was for them tonight.
Well, we want you to know,
People are really saying that this is blessing them. This is for them
Good.
tonight. They needed this.
Good. And that's why, we normally cut up. We have a good time. But,
We going through things.
yeah,
We go
oh
through
my
things,
God, get
like-
out of my head. I was like, everybody in this room is going through some things, and we don't all talk. We don't all come together and talk about it. But because we have been rocking together for so long, we can feel it. We know it. Everybody in the world is going through some things. So learning how to dance in the rain was a much important. It was a needed conversation to have. It wasn't one to clown. It wasn't one to joke. It was one to say, my brother and my sister, the storms will come. They're necessaries. Dance through them. Dance through them. Put on some music. Go like, and I know some mothers on here can understand. When your kids get on your nerves so bad, so you just feel like, I'm going in the room and I'm closing the door, and don't call me, don't knock, leave me alone. That's what we got to do right now. We got to find a spot and we got to dance through it. And I promise you, once you begin to dance, certain things will begin to move. And when I say dance, I ain't saying shouting. I'm saying you can go in your room and just turn on some music, and Sean Nice would go up on Sundays and play, or he would do certain things on Wednesdays. And you ever just got in and you heard something old that came on that your mom and them, and you'd be like, man, and after you get through, you'd be like, God, I just feel so much better. I just released something because you see what I'm saying? Whatever dancing is to you, for some people that's interceding, that's worshiping. But for some people that's turning on some old school music and just getting in your middle of your floor and just letting it out. Whatever it is for you that will get you through what we're going through right now, do it. But don't forget the number one thing: prayer.
One quick nugget. We dropped it, but we just want to make sure it get caught, and then we'll pray. Dancing in the rain can come with the preconceived notion that it's all about something you're going through, something that you have been impacted by, or something that you're having to endure. But we also want to speak to those who this may be a great season for you to say no to something. That's one of the biggest things that we had to deal with. One thing about COVID is that it has forced us to step back, to step aside, to truly distance ourselves from a lot of things. This is a great time to cut some things out of your life that you probably wouldn't have had the opportunity. You wouldn't have been far enough away from it to see it for that which it was. So dancing in the rain is also letting go of some things that it's time to let go of. And it's some things, and it's some people, it's some habits, it's some addictions, it's some mindsets, it's some traditions that it's time to let go of. So, as my wife grabs that song, because that was a hidden nugget. You had to let go of a shop.
Oh, let me tell you, I had to let go of the shop. I let go of some staff.
You remember when I called you? Not to cut. You remember when I called you and I was like, bro, I'm proud of you. I said, because that shop had become a part of your identity.
Yes.
And I said, God is telling you He's trying to do a new thing in a new place, but you've identified yourself with an old place.
Yes.
And you had to let that go. Otherwise, you would have not only seen yourself in a certain way, you would have been seen in a certain way. So once you let go of that old image, then you had room to receive the new image, and you're looking good, bro. Your shop is amazing.
When I look back, it amazes me, and it made me realize, and even like tonight, telling my testimony, it energized me for the next mile. Like sometimes you got to use your own testimony to remind you how God worked, and I was so, like you said, God was doing a new thing, but I was stuck trying to prove Him in the old thing. And so that's why I constantly challenge people to hear what God is saying now and then not being stuck on what He said.
Because we read Genesis, right? We hear about the children of Israel circling the mountain. He be like, they so stupid. If I was them and I got this and I got that, I would have been going back to my old ways. But in our own way, we all have to circle our own mountains, because we also won't let go of certain habits that we adopted in Egypt. He's trying to cross us over to Jordan, and we still got some old mindsets, some old relationships, some old traditions and tendencies that we adopted in Egypt. You know what I mean? So we all go through that. You know what I mean?
That's right, because what worked then might not work now.
It won't work now. It won't work now. Come on back through here, cutie.
Everybody's saying how
No
good you
moon
looking
them,
tonight.
just moon me.
You're looking good tonight.
My grandma said, "Don't tempt the deacons."
Well, I'm the pastor of this house.
Don't tempt the deacons. And so for any men that's watching and women, but mostly men, KJ Servin, I swear I'm tearing his name up,
You doing better than me.
is one of the ones that I feel reaches men in worship. Most men don't worship because they feel like it's, I don't know, it's,
Just don't hit.
but
You know what I mean?
he
But KJ stuff hits my heart.
yes. He is one that I will be working with on this next album, as well as Dennis. It's just amazing. So Sean is setting up the song. We're gonna pray, and I say it again. Come on, y'all. Let's learn how to dance in the rain. We gotta hold each other up, you know. So everybody in this room, Sean, Darius,
You gonna dance in the rain too, little girl.
I want you to know that we all gonna dance together. We're gonna hold each other up. We're gonna cover each other, love on each other. And I'll say if you ever need anything, we're here. But if it's a God situation, I don't want to get in no trouble.
Well, everybody is saying how lovely you look tonight and how lovely your hair looked tonight.
What?
I used about 4 or 5 tracks.
There's no
And,
tracks in my head. We stop it, baby. Feel.
I felt it the other day. Ain't nothing there.
No. Oh God.
I'm sorry, bad habit.
Ken, just right here. Me, honey. Okay. Because you are such a what is your deal?
Because since your hair don't grew out,
You
you don't
do-
changed. And I've been trying to think of what it was, but it's the hair, girl.
I'm growing it out, honey. In case it rain, I can pull it up in a ponytail because I'm learning how to do
All
it.
you want to do is have wet hair and
Rain.
just swing it.
That it right, booby. Lord,
Since you don't
Kendall,
let
look at her mouth.
She's starting to suck on her fingers now and all
You
that
didn't
good
want to
stuff.
wipe. You just let her do
I'm
whatever
not. She
wanna
need a
do.
bath. I'm not even. Did she ever have a bath?
No, but when
But she need a
get that
bath,
good
so I'm not gonna
tonight,
keep running over there.
love
Man,
her
I'm
bath.
not gonna run over there every time she got some drool coming out her mouth. I'm gonna let her get the whole
Messiah,
situation,
forward, Daddy,
and I'm gonna give her a good old boosy, wipe me down.
Y'all, Darius, how do you talk? Darius, we FaceTimed him the other day, and he started singing to Keziah, and she looked at him like he was crazy because he has a language. He says God gave him baby talk. Oh, and he can also speak Japanese.
Hi, wow.
No, they'll be no. My
Oh,
Chinese voice. No. Just speak baby talk.
And it goes a little something like this. Because see, back in the day, we was doing ga 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 ga. That's it's out. We woo woo woo. Can you woo woo woo? That's how you learn how to do it. If you don't know how to baby talk, you got to start with can you woo woo woo. Remember that song? Can you woo woo woo? And then you take that over to woo
Yeah,
woo
but
woo.
I
woo,
want to
woo,
hear
woo,
the
woo,
church.
woo.
You called her with a woo woo.
No, can you woo, 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 woo? Can you woo?
Because I was looking at him like this.
Can you woo, woo, woo?
Let us pray that
You
he
can
gets
woo in the morning, move all night long. If you don't know how to do it, you just woo.
Come on.
Bishop Wu, everybody. Bishop Wu.
Because I was like, Bishop Whoa.
Bishop Wu.